Hi guys, it's Sherry. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. Y'all, let's do some feel-good crafting. Stay tuned. So I'm going to mention it very quickly. Instagram. Go out there, search Posh Paper Lady Inspired, and you are going to see some amazing projects. And if you have not uploaded yours, go ahead and do so and make sure you tag it, hashtag Posh Paper Lady Inspired, and that way it will show up in the Posh Paper Lady Inspired projects. Amazing work out there, guys. Amazing. And here is today's project. So stinking cute, so simple, so sweet. And what is it? We have a set of coasters in this box, and we are using the cutting mats that my sister brought me from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to hold this up so that you guys can get the SKU. This is what the packaging looks like in the Dollar Tree, and according to my sister, they're over in the houseware section, in the kitchen section in particular, close to the contact paper. So if you happen to have a Dollar Tree and you're looking for these, this is what they look like. Or you can do a search online to see if maybe you can find these particular chopping mats. Who knows? They might be in a whole bunch of different stores other than the Dollar Tree. So like I said, we are going to make this super easy and super awesome coaster set. And I made a little box using the chopping mat as well. And then we have got on the inside, I am going to open this up, and I am going to be very careful about opening this up because it is my sister's. So I used a sticker to keep it closed because this type of plastic isn't the type that normally likes to retain the bend that you put in it. So unless you're taping it closed or you're holding it closed, it will try to open up. So here are the coasters that I made for her. They are 4 3/8 by 4 3/8. And I used my autumn themed paper because that was what she wanted. And I used the chopping mat on the front as well as the back. So these are dual-sided. Whatever her feelings are for that day, when she's using these, she can actually just pull them out, flip them over if she wants, and she's got the stripe look, or we can go with the leaves, or we can go with the combination of the two. Very simple to make. I have not gone around the edges of this with any type of a protectant sealer. You can if you want. What I am going to do is I am going to use just a little bit of Mod Podge, and I am going to actually put it on my fingers and go around each one of these a couple of times, but I have not done that yet. But these fit very nicely down inside of this little box. Then we can close it, tuck that in, and then again I'm going to seal it with my apple sticker, and we have a sweet little gift. Now I only have 4 coasters in this box. You can actually place up to 8 in your box, and I think this makes a terrific gift, and it is just so stinking cute. Y'all, let's make it. So here is how we're going to do this. I have already cut out 4 pieces of the paper that I want to use on this project, and this is a double-sided paper that we're going to be using. Then I cut out 5 squares of my chopping mat, and I have already added the adhesive to the glossy side of this, and I'm going to have the matte side facing out. So all we're going to do first is, if you want to place any stickers on your project, you need to go ahead and place those before you actually put down the mat. And I am just going to tuck that little cup right there. So I am going to have 2 that are embellished, 2 that aren't. So all we need to do is peel away that protective layer, and I am going to place this down just like this. And I'll do this with all of them. So I am peeling away my protective sheet, and I am using my Xyron Creatopia to get the sticker on the back of this. But if you don't have a Xyron Creatopia, you can use the Xyron Creative Station, which is still on the market. The Creatopia was discontinued probably about 6 years ago. So it might not be something you're able to find. They still sell the sticker sheets for it, and some people do have machines available on eBay. But if you cannot find the Xyron sticker maker on eBay and you want to get this look, you can always use a spray adhesive to get your look. So I am going to place my last one down, and then I'll use my big old spatula just to get these nice and stuck. And then what I need to do is I need to use my finger blade before I place my second covering down. Use the finger blade just to trim out the excess mat. So I am going to go around this on all 4 sides and remove the mat. And when you sandwich your paper in between these 2 cutting mats, it actually becomes very firm, very durable, exactly the way that you would want your little flat coasters to be. So I am going to complete this one with you guys, and then I'll do the others off camera because the process is the same for all of them. So now that I have trimmed out one, all I need to do is remove that backer sheet from the next one. And I am going to take this and place it down on the side that does not have the chopping mat on it. So I'm placing it down just like that. Use my big old spatula to get this stuck, and I'll do it on both sides. And now I'll repeat the process of trimming out the excess. And this is how we get our coaster. And the size coaster that I'm using here, the coaster is actually cut at 4 3/8 by 4 3/8. So you will need 4 pieces of decorative paper cut at 4 3/8 by 4 3/8. And then just to make sure that I had a good fit before I laid it down on the mat, I cut each one of these mats at 5 by 5. So now that I have it covered front and back, we have a coaster. But what I want to do is I want to round the edges. So I am not going to do a very deep rounder. If you have a corner rounder or a We Are Memory Keepers corner chomper, that's perfect for this. I actually have the corner chomper, but I am just going to show you guys how to do this if you don't have a rounder. So all we're doing, let me do that a little bit better. So all I'm doing is grabbing a little bit of that corner and then just rounding it. I am not doing a whole lot of removal. I am just rounding that corner. And you can see the pieces that I actually used on the rounding, or the pieces that I actually removed from the rounding. I only removed that much, and this is the rounding effect that I got. So I am going to do my other 3 off camera, and I will be right back. All right, guys, so I have my little coasters, and aren't they stinking cute? So I have my teacups on the front, and on the back we have beautiful, beautiful acorns. And this is just a perfect little set that you can have at your home, set out to protect your furniture. Just absolutely fabulous. And we need to make a cute little holder for these. So that's what we're going to do right now. So I am going to bring in my scoreboard, and I have another piece of my chopping mat. I don't have any adhesive on this. And this piece measures 5.5 by 10.5. And what we're going to do on the 5.5 inch side, we are going to score at 1/2 inch from the top to the bottom. And guys, make sure that you put a lot of pressure on this because you're going to need a good crisp score so that you can really bend and manipulate this plastic. So then we're going to flip it over to the opposite 5.5 inch side. And we are going to score again at 1/2 inch. And I am really pressing down because I want to make sure that I get a good groove. So now we have our scores on both opposite ends, and I'm placing my scores on the matte side of my chopping mat. There is a shiny side, you can see how shiny that is, and then there's this matte side. So now I'm going to place it in, and I am going to make a score at 4.5 using a lot of pressure. Then I'm going to make a score at 5. And then I'm going to make a score at 9.5. And then we'll make a score, our final score, at 10. So those scores again, on the 10.5 inch side, we score at 4.5, 5, 9.5, and 10. So now we need to take this, fold it on those scores, and burnish. So when you're folding it, it's going to turn a milky white just like that, and that is okay because it really does not interfere with the way that your project looks. Make sure that you do some very deep burnishing. Then I'll come to this side and I am going to find this score mark and fold it just like I did the first one. And again, I am going to just use my big old spatula to get in there and really work that score. So now we're going to have our neat little fold just like that for the bottom. Then we'll come here to the top and we have 2 scores here. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to fold those down and burnish, burnish, burnish. And then I'll do this one. Put it down and I'll burnish it and get that worked in. Just like that. So now we have our flat piece that'll fold in. Now we have these 2 side pieces, our edges, that we need to fold. So let's go to that score mark and start bending until we get this folded the way that we need for it to be. Then I'll use my big old spatula, come back in, putting all of that pressure down, guys, because we really do need to get in there and work it so that we can have a nice crisp fold. And let's do the same thing over here. Fold that in. Then I'll use my big old spatula and just really get in there. So now we have all of our scores done, and we need to cut out our tabs. So we have these 2 center pieces here. We are going to go up to the score mark and drag down and just cut them out. We're not removing the tabs, we're just freeing them up just like that. And now I am going to just angle in a little bit. And if you're not comfortable doing this with your finger blade, pull out your scissors, because all you need to do is get in there and remove just a little bit. Just like that. And I'll do the same thing over here. So I'm going to go up to the score mark, drag down, angle in, and angle in there. And I'll pull this out. And then we need to turn it so that it's facing you in this direction. We are going to go up to the second score mark and drag down to free up that tab. Then we're going to reduce half of it. So we're just going to cut out a portion so that it looks like that. And then I'll angle in just a little bit on both of these. Do the same thing over here. So let's go up to the second score mark and let's drag straight down. I'll reduce this in size and then I will angle in. All right, guys, so we're going to be left with this. And what we need to do is we are going to take some tape, and on this front section here, we're going to fold it in and place our tape here on the outside. So I have some strips of tape that I am just going to place down on the outside. And this is going to be very similar for those of you who have seen the planner video that I did where I made the little box for those planners. We're going to follow that same technique. So I have tape placed here. Then I am going to take some tape and place it right here. And let me remove that excess. So what we did on this front section here, we folded it in and we placed the tape on the outside. Now we're going to turn it and we're going to place tape on the inside of these side pieces. Do not place any tape on the tab. We're simply going to place tape on the side piece only. So I am going to bring in my tape and I'll flip that little tab inward so I don't get any tape on it. And I am just going to place down my tape. And again, I want to make sure that I don't get any on that tab, so I am going to fold that tab backwards so that I can use my finger blade to remove my excess tape. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. So I'm going to fold the tab backwards and we're going to place our tape on this side piece, just like this. So we have this folded in, tape on the outside. This spread flat, tape on the inside. So I am going to make sure that I have a good stick on my tape. Then we're going to lift it up and put it together. So I am going to remove my tape from all of these sections. And on the side of your box, you'll have that milkiness, but you really won't notice it because you don't get to see any of the lines of the tape because we use strips that match that width. So all is good. Okay, so now that we have all of our tape strips lifted, I am going to take my inside tabs and just fold them in just like that. And I'm not going to tape them down to anything. So I am going to start working my box into shape, and I am going to take the piece that has the flap on it, and I am going to match this up top to top. And then I'll guide it closed all the way at the bottom. So once I have it, I'll just use my fingers and let the heat from the friction of my fingers just cause everything to stick. I'm going to do the same thing over here. So I'm going to take the top, match up my tops here, top to top, and then I'll press everything else down. And then if I need to go on the inside, I'll use my stylus to go on the inside, get everything stuck, and then I can take my fingers and just go along. Now, if you happen to have any overhang or a pointy part at the bottom, just use your scissors, go in there and just cut that out. I think this side is good. I don't feel any pointiness. So now we have our sweet little box, and all I'm going to do is use my stylus to go on the inside and just really open up those flaps. So now I can take my coasters and just place them on the inside just like that, and now we have a beautiful coaster set. And I am going to take this piece, and I need to trim off just a little bit here. I forgot to tell you guys that on our flap that we're going to tuck in, just go in and take off a sliver on that corner so that it will fold in easier. So I am just going to shape that fold a little bit. Then I'm going to take this and work it down inside, because again, the plastic wants to resist you. It wants to go back to its natural shape, but we're not going to let it. So I am going to bring in my sticker sheet, and to keep it closed, I am going to just take one of my stickers, and I think I'll take these pairs. And I can take the pairs, place it on the front, make sure I get the top, and then make sure that whatever you're using wraps around to the back so that you have complete closure from the front to the back. Then you can just add whatever decorations to the front of your box that you want to. And I think for me, I'm going to keep this fairly simple because I already have this showing. So what I'm going to do, so I am going to take my sticker that says Thanksgiving, place it right there, and then I'll take this sweet little flower and place it right there. And that's really all that it takes. We don't need a whole lot on this because it's already cute. So when you're finished, you're going to have coasters in your box that measure 4 3/8 by 4 3/8. Your box itself will measure 4 1/2 by 4 1/2 by 1/2 inch. Perfect for these coasters. Perfectly cute for wherever you want to display this, whether you want to gift it or you want to sell it. This one is a gift for my sister who requested it. This one, I'll probably have another one of my sisters say claim. So I am going to open this up, just pull out a couple of the coasters, not all of them, so that y'all can see just how easy this was and how great they look. So how awesome is it, guys, that we're able to take a chopping mat and turn it into something useful in our homes, other than chopping fruits, veggies, or whatever else you might chop in your kitchen. Isn't this perfect? So I hope that y'all have liked this project, and if you have, please hit the like button. If you are not a subscriber to my channel, I would love to have you join my online crafting family. You guys have a great day. Happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.